Good morning from Julia Carroll and my 2026 weight loss journey. Today is Friday, July 24th. It has officially been 205 days since I began weight loss in 2026, since January 1st. How is it going? Well, let me just say I've lost no weight in the last 2 months, possibly even slightly more than that. I've basically stayed the same, gained a little bit, lost a little bit. I've been trading the same 4 or 5 pounds for the better part of 2 months. On the one hand, I'm not particularly upset about that because technically speaking, beginning on January 1, I weighed 325 pounds. So being down to 275 is a win. Even if I lost no more weight this year, it's a win. Now, I have been struggling with salted peanuts, but I have not been struggling with sugar. And I think that's the only reason that the stall in the weight loss has not been worse, is because it's not sugar. I do have to be mindful of it because salted peanuts, the way I eat them, is still a problem. So it's not like it's not an issue. It's just, it's just not as quite as bad had it been ice cream, cookies, pies, that kind of stuff. It's not good, and I am working on rectifying it. I do think I need to go back to more of a meat-heavy diet. Not that I won't eat some vegetables and stuff or a little bit of fruit, but maybe go back to more of a, kind of a quasi 30 to 40 grams of carbs a day. I'm not taking my ketones, so I know I'm not producing ketones. I'm just flat eating too much carbs to be in ketosis. So it's just sort of a reset. I think I don't know what happened. I think I just kind of got a little depressed, maybe a little sad. Not horribly, but just a little now I'm trying to reset my brain to get back into the groove of weight loss and losing weight, and the exercise. And the exercise is problematic. I'm doing more. I'm getting in my wading pool every day pretty much, which, when you weigh 275 pounds and you're 54 years old, getting on the ground in a wading pool is not easy. It takes some real effort to get into the pool and out of the pool. So there is that going on. I am doing some practice kneeling on the ground and getting off the ground, which surprisingly, when you get to be older and you are very overweight, very out of shape, not very bendable, not very flexible, and the mobility is not the best, let me just say, you need to practice getting on the floor and getting off the floor. People don't understand that, but that is something you need to practice and realize. I need to get on the floor. I need to, like, if I were to fall down walking outside, what would I do? What would I do to get up? So I do practice those scenarios. Now, right now I'm using like a knee pad, so my knees are protected. And the better I get at that, then I'm going to take the knee pads away. I have a tri-fold, it's kind of like, I think it's like a yoga mat type of thing. It's a tri-fold mat that I have folded right now in 3 parts. So I'm using that completely folded up as a bigger knee pad to be able to get on the floor and off the floor. And it's working great. I just need to do it every day, multiple times a day. And then over time, unfold it so it's thinner. The knee pad portion of it. It's just a matter of doing this stuff. My body is not in practice kneeling and getting on the floor or off the floor. So that is something I am working on doing. I'm still struggling with food. It's and like I said, the only fortunate thing is it doesn't appear to be sugar. That is my go-to right now. It's salted peanuts, salted roasted peanuts in the shell. Don't know why. Those are a big thing right now. And lots of them are a big thing. It's bizarre. But, I haven't given up. I'm still praying to Jesus, asking for help. I'm a little out of sorts, but it's not a matter. It's not that I can give up. I can't give up. I don't want to give up. So I will keep pressing on, and I will consider, if I don't lose more than another 10 pounds the rest of this year, which hopefully I could even lose that 10 pounds. I mean, at this point, it may not be that, but it's a plus. I will end the year on a high note. Just lose a few more pounds and don't gain any between now and, January 1 of 2027. And then, dig hard, and maybe, if it takes me 2, 3, 4 years to lose the weight, it takes 2, 3, 4 years. Hopefully, I do need to lose a little more weight to make the airplane travel to Hawaii in April more comfortable. And I can do that. That's sort of one thing I really need to focus on is right now I think my keister is bigger than airplane seats allow, and that would make for an uncomfortable flight. So we just got to do what we can do and really concentrate on, not giving up. Just keep pressing on. In this case, the Bible talks about pressing on to maturity, and this is one of the areas. And, pressing on to maturity in my Christian walk also equates to pressing on to maturity of not being a compulsive binge eater. That's sort of a childish behavior, and I don't want to do that. So I need to curtail that. So I have been praying about that. Not that it's done a lot of good. Well, I won't say that. It has. It's a struggle. And I kind of realized today I would like to have the struggle removed. I don't want to ever have to think about food again. I don't want to be tempted by food. And something tells me that's never going to happen. Because then it'd be like, do I really need Jesus if I never am tempted with food again? Unfortunately, my temptation seems to be the thing that is driving me to Jesus more and more, is just like, this isn't working for me. Please help. So I should not want to separate myself from Jesus. I should want to rely on him. It's difficult. But I'm pressing on to losing weight and exercising and doing the actual physical things to maintain mobility, like going up and down my stairs more frequently, making my balance better, practicing, stabilizing my stomach muscles when I go up and down the stairs so I feel more stable when I walk, so I don't always have to hold on to something, because I've noticed that my balance is not the best. So I kind of need to work on that. But, that's what I'm doing right now, is just plugging along, not giving up, because giving up is the one thing I can't do. I can have a setback. I can sit down and be like, okay, I don't really want to keep doing this, but I can't give up. I have to keep, even if it's just, right now, even if it's just, okay, all I'm going to try and lose is 5 pounds between now and December 31st. Get down to 270. That'd be 55 pounds in a year, which technically speaking, in 52 weeks, that's pretty good, even though the bulk of it was lost from January to May. But if I can eke out a couple more pounds and actually spend more time physically doing stuff like the walking, like the kneeling, getting in the pool, and I try and deliberately, when I get into my little wading pool, I try to deliberately, I sit down, lay down, get up, move around, roll over, stand up, sit back down repeatedly, because that forces my body to move in a way that is not how I normally move now. So it's forcing me to use my upper body strength, because I don't have good balance when I kneel. So I have to use my hands a lot, and that's causing more upper body strength built up. So it's all these things that I'm doing to make the body stronger, more flexible, more mobility, I'm kind of ashamed at 54 that my body is this broken down. However, I can look at it as just a starting point of, hey, you know, I'm doing better than I did this time last year when I was way out of control. Worse, I was much heavier, 324 pounds this time last year, and here I weigh 275. So that is a great win. That is a great win, and I need to think of it in those terms, that losing weight for me is very much like a marathon. It's not something that I'm going to win. I'm not running a 4-minute mile, and I'm not running 26 miles in, the equivalent in this weight loss journey in a, hop, skip, and a jump. It's going to be a slog. It's going to be a long haul, long distance struggle that is multi-year. It's a multi-year struggle. And the more I can do it and keep the weight off and get the body in physically better condition to do more exercising, the better off I'll be. And, this time next year, I could be doing another video like this and say, hey, I'm now down to, 235, and I'm able to kneel very easily. I'm able to go up and down stairs without assistance, especially having to hold on to the rail, even though that's a safety issue. But I do it because my balance is bad. So, working on the balance in addition to mobility is important. Because, the older you get, the worse it gets. Just the general, even the best of bodies is not even the best shape you could possibly be in. Your body is at 54 is not what it was at 24. It just isn't. It's just age seems to, you feel the tweaks and the moans and the groans and the knee pops and you feel it at 54 when you didn't feel it at 24 or even 34. And, so that's all I can do right now is just keep pressing on and not allow myself to eat the peanuts. And like I said, right now, the only real thing is peanuts. Fortunately, I'm not going after the sugar. I did go out a couple of weeks ago as a memorial to my dad, and we had some ice cream. And to be honest with you, I did perfectly fine with that. I was kind of shocked at how well I did, and I haven't had sugar since then. Now, I've had peanuts quite a bit. So I've been sort of transferring the desire to eat from sugar to peanuts, the salt, fat. So like I said, I don't know if that's better necessarily, but in some respects I think it is. But it is something I do need to curtail because that could be problematic. So again, I'm just here vlogging my journey and how it's working and what is working and what's not, what I'm hoping to accomplish, that kind of stuff. But so that's all I have to say today, and I will sign off for now. This is Julia Carroll on my 2026 weight loss journey. Take care. Bye-bye.